All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Rational Investor. This is Julian reporting in with your baby powder report on Thursday from the police station. Very nice police garage. I was unfortunately arrested. It was a tough week, let me tell you guys. A lot happened. Sometimes you just end up at a very nice luxury police station and you don't know what to do. I'm kidding. I just thought this was a cool background, so I picked it. Hope everybody had a great week. Tonight is going to be an interesting show as always. The first thing you might notice is that I pushed my hair down. I don't know why I did that, but that's the way it is. The camera also, if you notice my skin tone here, it's lighter, darker, lighter. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to have to check this later. I think I messed with the settings, so it's causing my skin tone to change. So we're gonna fix that. But again, hopefully everyone had a great week. The market is at an interesting reflection point. We did get the pullback that I talked about last week. I've been talking about it. But now we've got quite an inflection point. And the breadth is giving some interesting signals too. So we're gonna jump out of the police station. I'm gonna shrink myself and we're gonna get right into the charts because I know we've only got 30 minutes or so, and then we're gonna go into the after party. Let's get rid of the police station. Okay, goodbye. And let me shrink myself. I know I can create a scene 1 and scene 2 to shrink myself, but I actually enjoy the process of shrinking myself down to being extremely tiny. Hello. Or to being bigger. Hello. No, I'm gonna be like middle size. Here we go. Hello. Okay, so I'm having too much fun with this. I have so much fun with the silly on-camera stuff. Okay, so S&P 500 breadth. What is this telling us? What is the big thing right here? We've got a cross. It just triggered. Basically yesterday, this cross triggered on the long side, which makes sense with what I'm seeing in the S&P. Let's go to the S&P. Look at the daily chart. Daily chart printed a 7, 8, and 9. I'm amazed we didn't bounce here. Okay, I'm actually shocked. I thought we would bounce from this 9. We pulled back more, and now look at where we're testing. Let me go to a 3-day chart. This will make it clearer for you guys. We are testing and bouncing from the original parallel channel downtrend. But you can see on the RSI, on the 3-day chart, we're breaking through, just kind of rolling over. All right, let's go back to the breadth. Breadth. I'm going to close Discord because I don't want to get unnecessary pop-ups, and using memory I don't need. I also want to, you know what I forgot to do? I wanted to load the YouTube. So let me bring this over here and load the YouTube so I can take questions to chat.therational. TRI. Okay. I'm going to load the YouTube to get all the nice commentary. I've also got the chat going. Oh, okay, Chris sent it to me, actually. Thank you, Chris. Couldn't do the show without Chris. Very helpful. And then I'm going to mute myself on YouTube. All right. Let's see. If you guys have anything to say in the chat, say whatever you want. You know, suggestions on how to talk faster, start the show on time, that kind of stuff. Always appreciate any kind of comments from the peanut gallery on how I can do better. Okay, anyway, let's continue. So, breadth crossed over on the S&P and on crypto. Ironic that they both crossed over at the same time. The S&P way cleaner. Look at how it's just been short forever since basically January 18th. I mean, we had a push up, and then we just had that roll over. Really interesting. Checking on the news really quick. We did have unemployment claims came in, and they were basically only a little bit under forecast, which is green for the market, saying the economy's fine. Not that many people are being fired yet. From many reports I've read, with the yield curve inverted, the yield curve is the most inverted it's been in 10 years. Not 10 years, since 1980. I'm sorry, 1980. So with the yield curve this inverted, generally the market, looking at history in the past, has not bottomed until unemployment claims have spiked and just completely taken off. And we're not seeing that at all yet. So I wanna see that kind of number turn around, and I want to see unemployment claims start to spike. And when that happens, we're actually closer to the end than we are to the beginning, if that makes sense, of the bear market. So something to keep in mind, and something I'm paying close attention to. So that's just another signal that, okay, bear market is still bear market. Okay, let's go back to, let's check the options really quick. Show options expiries for tomorrow. 4,000 obviously is the big call wall, and then the put wall is at 3,900. Can't get really much simpler than that. Max pain is around 39.50, which is where the market is sitting. That's really it on the news side for me. And looking at the breadth, I don't really have anything to talk about as far as big events. I think the biggest thing is just to watch the market patterns here. And the big one, like I said, is that we're tagging the bottom end of this parallel channel. However, if you look at my RSI here, we broke down. We broke down pretty hard. Right through here. And this is extreme bear territory for me. Like this is any bounce, I'm shorting. The only thing that gave me pause was this 9 printing. I thought we'd get some kind of bounce. Normally we do. Nothing happened. So now we go and check lower time frames. Okay, what's going on in the lower time frame here? Well, something that we do need to keep in mind is there is divergence happening. Right here, price making a higher high, price making a lower low, and RSI making a higher high is creating a divergence that could signal a bit of a bounce. It's a belated bounce, but a bounce nonetheless. Until we break out from this downtrend, I would consider it like this downtrend line right here. I would consider the primary trend to be the downside. But I do want to see a push up to 4,000. I want to see some kind of push, take out the liquidity, and then a rollover. I'm surprised that it's just kind of been messing around down here. But the primary theme again is to the downside and short any moves higher. So if you, for example, if you went off like a 2-hour chart, you could have shorted plenty of times whenever we came to this 50 EMA. So right here, could have shorted right here, right here. Next one could bounce all the way up to here, right? And then you short there again. It's just a kind of obvious strategy once you're clear about the trend, and the trend is now clearly to the downside. We broke through my trend heuristic channel. As long as the market was above the trend heuristic channel, I would have considered longs. But we just sliced right through it. Boom, right through it. Okay, so we're through it. Okay, short, and take profits. So okay, that's the general trading strategy now that I'm following. But I think you guys might want something a little bit more specific. So where do I think we're gonna go in the short term? Honestly, I'm not exactly sure. It's a tough read. I mean, I can lay out levels, obviously, right? So we've got liquidity zone here, and right here, all this area, and then the next one is down here, right below all of this. So those are your different zones, like 39,000, 3,900, and 3,800. But it's kind of obvious, I feel like. It's not that useful to tell you that. I can go to like a 15-minute chart, and we can look at what potentially is happening. I mean, we could be rolling over even 5-minute. Like let's look at just a 5-minute quickly, and then we can maybe look at Bitcoin, and then we'll come back and look at what the S&P did at the end of the show in the after party. Okay, so here we do a quick trend line. Okay, we're kind of breaking down. However, we've got a bounce of the VIP line and a bounce off this midpoint level, and we took out the liquidity down here. So now it looks like we could just push higher. For me right now, I would lean towards the upside. It looks like we're just hunting liquidity, and we're getting ready for a second push. So we do something like this. Boop. And boop. And then that's it. And we would take out the liquidity and the highs here. So 39.60, which would also take us up to our max pain level. So I think going into Friday, this kind of move makes sense. So we had a push higher, consolidation, right? Push higher, consolidation with a bull flag, and then push higher up into the 3960 area, take out all the liquidity up here, maybe even push to 397. And at the same time, create max pain for all the options buyers. Seems like a good strategy to me. I mean, where do the market makers make the most money? And the answer is right up here. So that's what I think they're going for. I think they took out a lot of longs down here with this push below this trend line. I think a lot of people were watching this trend line. You can see how many times it dipped below it. One time, push higher. Second time, push higher quickly. Third time, push higher super quickly. Came down for a fourth test. And now I think it's just testing in this area before it, pushes higher here and tags this 3960, 3970 zone. So that's my forecast going into Friday. After Friday, once Monday comes around, we will likely continue the move to the downside. I don't see us just moving higher with a daily chart that is this bearish. It's not plausible. I think you can get a bounce 3970. Maybe they push it up to 4,000. Maybe we'll see how it looks Monday when the market's open. But overall, the trend is definitely down, and we've got much further to go to the downside. This is the big thing I've kind of been watching and playing with is this chaos levels here, which be about there, which will point to 3,600. So our next level would be 2.618, 3,860. That's where I can see them, tagging next after they play in this area a bit around the 1.618. So something like this, and then we push down 2.618, roll around here, and then we push down to this level, and then we push down to this 4.669. I think that makes sense from a maximal profit standpoint, and it works with the downtrend. Also, I want to show you guys. Remember I talked about the market sitting in certain areas for about 30 days, 20 to 30 days, and I can show you how many days did we end up sitting. Day range, right? So for example, here we sat for 18 days, right? And then up here, how long? It's literally almost the same. I think it's, how many days is this? Can't even see it. 15 days. So 15 days, 2 weeks. Actually, it's more than 2 weeks because it's. Oh yeah, no, it's 2 weeks. Okay, so. And then, for example, down here, how long did we sit? 30 days, right? 28 days. And then we rallied for how long? Until we sat again. Right, this is at the top of your rally. 36 days. You could even say we stagnated here. So then your rally was only 20 days. And then you could say we distributed here, right? This is the distribution. How long did the distribution take? Okay, 33 days. And then we accumulated again. And that was just 20 days, 21 days. And then we distributed again over only 15 days. It seems like things keep getting shorter and shorter. But the up move right here, right? How long did that take? 26 days. So by that logic, the down move should take around 20 days. And right now we're at 14. So I think we've got another 5 to 10 days of this down move before we level out, and then there's either an accumulation or distribution that happens. So again, something just fun to watch and keep your eye on, I guess. Okay, so that's S&P. We'll see what happens later in the show. In the after party, we'll talk about it and see what it did based on the kind of my little forecast. I think we can look at, some people had requests for Bitcoin. Maybe we'll just do that quickly, get it out of the way. I know a lot of people are interested in crypto. I will do Bitcoin, and I'll look at the total, and then any requests that anybody has for individual coins, we can do in the after party show. Okay, Bitcoin. It's hard to see my keyboard with the mic here in the way. Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin on a daily chart. Looks like absolute poop. So this is the downtrend, right? Broke down, and now it's just kind of sitting here distributing. Like let's do the same thing with Bitcoin. For example, it accumulated for 57 days. And now, how long has it spent? How long has it been distributing for? We could either say this is the top or this is the top. I think distribution started here actually, but let's say it started up here. So we've been distributing now for 40 days. If we match the accumulation level, we should sit up here for another 10 days or so. Right now we're at 40, so we could go another between, I would say, around 10 days. 10 days we want to match. This did it in what, 60 days, 57 days, and we're at 40. So 10 to 15 days I think would be a safe bet. Maybe let's say like 7 to 15. Yeah, so oh, March 10th Ox unlocks. Is that really true? And 14th ETH withdrawals. Wow. Well, that would be the perfect storm. So that lands right around that 60-day area. Interesting. Thank you, FA. DMAX said, is crypto and pivot just turned bullish? On the dashboard, it did just turn bullish. It did. But I am not a fan of this signal. It's not the strongest cross. And I don't like how the market looks on my own chart. So the dashboard, you can follow it blindly, and we are following it blindly in one portfolio. However, in my own personal portfolio, I just use it as another indicator. I'm like, okay, well, the breath turned bullish, so maybe we could see a bit of a rally here. But I'm not liking how Bitcoin looks in the chart. I'm not liking how S&P looks. So I'm not going to necessarily follow the breath this time. If everything on my charts aligned and agreed with what the breath was saying, then I would be like, awesome. Okay, I'd be extremely confident in taking trades. But because what I'm seeing on the chart versus what the breath is telling me is in conflict, I just can't blindly trade that. This is tea, by the way. No baby Coke today, just a tea. Wonder if it messes up the green screen. It's cool. It doesn't really mess up the green screen. Interesting. Okay, so Bitcoin. I actually like to look at the total. But something really quick we can look at is like let's say this is your top out process for Bitcoin, and this is your right. So where does this point to? It points right to 12,600. So something to just keep in mind. This top out, if this does roll over, we're looking at a move to 12,600. That's exactly where 4.669 chaos level points to. We'll start from March 10th with a deadline to be paid out by September 30th. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to. I'm not. I feel like people always get all hyped about these release events, these unlock events, and sometimes they're a nothing burger. So what I prefer to do is just look at the chart and trade based on what I'm seeing with the chart. Because the fundamental events, people, I'm sure if we look at statistics going back maybe 100 years, half the time everyone believed this, and then even though everyone was technically right, if you look at the fundamentals, for the first 2 or 3 weeks after they came out, everyone was wrong because the market went the opposite way. So I have a hard time putting too much faith in that kind of stuff. Cole's chart, Cole's Celestial. Can you link that, the Matador? I don't know. I haven't seen that. Maybe you can link it. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna pull up the total because I feel like it gives a clearer picture than Bitcoin does. I get better signals. Even though it looks almost exactly the same as Bitcoin, I do find that I get better signals from it. So let's see if we can glean anything from looking at this chart. And it does look like we're breaking down. Like if I draw this RSI line exactly how I would draw it, it does look like we broke down. We're just testing the underside of the trend line and getting ready to roll over. See how we did have an 8 come in on TD, Tom DeMark. Really interesting that printed. Also look at this. Just a trend line. I'm sure if this breaks, that's not gonna help things. Yeah, this really looks like a distribution pattern to me. I don't I don't like how this is looking at all. It looks very, very weak. But no real breakdowns on any of these time frames with RSI. 4 hour starting to. I think we have to wait for the S&P. Bitcoin's just gonna follow the S&P. We can't have a bullish Bitcoin price without a bullish S&P. I just I don't see it. We've always had a bullish market for the most part whenever Bitcoin's gone on a run higher. If the market is looking weak and Bitcoin is possibly using this pump to distribute. Okay, tag me, not sure. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like especially how this looks on a daily chart. 3 day, you can see it pretty clearly how it's just, oops, delete this, delete this. Okay, so here's the 3 day. You can see how we've got a bit of a divergence, right? So if you look at RSI, see how it's basically the same level, but price made a higher high. That is a divergence. And you can even see 3 potential divergences on a 3 day chart printing. That's not good. Not good at all. On a daily, how many potentials we have? 5 potentials, 1 confirmed divergence. Not great. And looking at the RSI here, everything is red except for the daily and the weekly. It's getting close. It's getting ready. Okay, you put it in the lounge. I'm not in the lounge actually. I don't like to have Rocket Chat running when I'm doing the stream because it slows down the actual. It slows down my entire computer and then causes freezing problems. So I'm not going to be able to open that. Maybe you can join the Zoom call and submit it there, or you can, if you join the Zoom call, you can send links. Doozy of a month ahead of us from what I understand. Quad witching, FOMC, Ides of March. Yeah, it doesn't look good. And then yeah, the ETH being released. I think both the S&P and the crypto market are going to roll over together. It's not a coincidence. You can talk about these events being catalysts, and maybe they are, but the biggest catalyst is probably going to be the S&P rolling over. Because otherwise, I think if the S&P was rallying, there would be large funds that would absorb the Bitcoin and Ethereum supply. And trust me, funds, there are funds involved in the crypto market, whether people think so or not. There definitely are. Okay, so kind of my general idea. Nothing's really changed from what I talked about last week with total. It still looks bearish. I would not be buying up here. I would be hunting for short positions and waiting for a rollover. Yeah, Effie, you should be able to get in the Zoom if you're an internal member. Yeah. Okay, so we can go back to Bitcoin really quick. What is this? Why does this keep appearing for me? So annoying. Wait a second, guys. Okay, there we go. I have to fix that one day. I always ignore it. On the 1 hour, it doesn't look great. Kind of just rolling, slow rollover. But honestly, Bitcoin's done nothing. It's done nothing. Just sitting up here. And that's unfortunately that's kind of what distribution looks like. Same how the accumulation happens. Look at what accumulation looked like. It looked like nothing. So I just wouldn't get excited about anything with Bitcoin here. I would not long anything. I don't know what else to say. All right, so Effie shared some kind of chart. Wait 1 second. Let me change my. How do I get this to open? Okay, wait. I will open that chart and go through it in the after party. I want to get through a couple things in the show, and then we'll look at your chart in the after party, Effie. Okay, so that was Bitcoin and total market. We looked at the S&P. Why don't we take a look at, I always like to look at gold. I like to look at the dollar. I think those are two main things I want to go over in this public show. Dollar is looking very strong here. However, this is a 1-minute chart. Daily chart is better to look at. See, we had the 9 print on the DXY, and we did get a pullback in the dollar with that. And now we're getting a bounce and a follow through. We go to a 3-day time frame. It's much cleaner, much clearer. Looking extremely bullish on dollar still. As long as this looks bullish, everything valued in dollars should roll over, right? We do have a 7 printing, which kind of leads to the thought that we could get, if we can get a push higher in the dollar, we'll get rejected from this area, this 107 area. So one candle, 2 candles, boom, we're at 9. We get pushed back, and then we'll see what happens. That's kind of what I'm picturing for the dollar. I can't say exactly what I think is going to happen. I think we're at like a weird point in the market, but it does look like, if you look at like an 8-hour chart, for example, right? On RSI, this would be considered kind of a breakout. That's what's happening right here. We had a pullback, so we had a rally, right? Rally, consolidation, bull flag, and now a push higher. And we just pushed through right here. So I could see this move right up to 107 happening fairly quickly. Yeah, this could even be a 5-wave series. I mean, I could draw it really fast if you look at it like this, right? So this was wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 would be like pushed to here. Right? So there's your really crappy wave series. And maybe wave 4, like wave 4 should have a lot of shenanigans, so you could see, we could even get rejected again and do this. And then we could push higher. One last push. So that's something I could even possibly see happening. And then when we hit this level, then we play in this area for a while before we decide on a direction. Which kind of backs up everything else I've talked about. If we do like a traditional wave 4 move where we're just going back and forth, then that would make sense that the S&P could have a chance to rally and push up a little bit next week. Okay. By the way, can you guys hear the background music? I put a very, very slight background music just to make up for when I, my brain short circuits and I stop talking for like 5 seconds, just to keep you guys entertained. 5 minutes till 30. By the way, guys, so we have been investing a lot in the YouTube channel lately. A good amount, an entire team of people behind this. We're trying every week to improve the shows. It's working. We have reached 7,000 subscribers. We want to get to 8,000, eventually 10,000. We're really putting a lot of effort into trying to grow. Finally, after like 8 years of TRI, finally trying to like really grow and go a bit more mainstream, but trying to still stick to the key TRI concepts that we teach. So if you can, if you're a new person watching this, or other people that are into finance and trading, just have them check us out. Hit the subscribe button. Check out some of our short clips if you get a chance. Check out some of the clip videos. We're going to be posting a lot of educational like evergreen concepts coming up that I think will be very, very useful to not only the community at TRI, but also people that maybe have never heard of TRI and are just getting into trading now. So that, just damn terrible like pitching things. But if you can, hit the like, subscribe button, post comments if you want. Julian sucks. We want Brian back. Even that stuff is fine. Anything to kind of like help the algorithm push these up in the streams and, try to, I guess, help us improve the show and get more people watching. And that kind of encourages myself and Brian to put more and more effort into the show every week. Okay, there's my spiel. Thank you guys. So the background music on YouTube is good. Not too bad. No complaints about the background music. I picked a hip hop track today. Hip hop? I don't know, something. Chris, to be fair, Chris sent it to me. But it's like some kind of hip hop track. Okay. Let's keep going here. I'm not even live on YouTube anymore. I'm watching myself. DXY. Okay, so that's my thoughts on DXY. Push to 107 and then pause in that area and play around. you know, NVIDIA is an interesting case. You guys know I was talking about NVIDIA before and how I thought it was in a decent short location. I still think that. I still think that NVIDIA has to fill this gap on the daily chart, this big gap, and it's just sitting up here playing with people to just run down the options. I think a lot of people were short going into the earnings, and they're still holding their puts. And what's happening right now is they're just kind of running down those options. And that's all they're doing, just running them down, running them down, running them down, and eventually it's going to fill this gap, and I think move lower with the rest of the market. I think NVIDIA is way overvalued. You don't use the term AI almost 100 times in your earnings call unless you have nothing else good to talk about except a potential future application. Like, it's just not. But again, forget the fundamentals. We're focusing on the chart, and the chart does not look great. Okay, this daily chart, like this is your rollover point right here, like this. And this is the retest. So actually, the push higher is the retest of the underside of the trend line. And that is my short opening opportunity. That's my perfect short. So I take a short here. And generally, at some point, it should eventually roll over. I mean, you can see already from that original shorting point right up here, you had 3 days. You're already kind of in profit. But we're looking for a gap fill. Maybe you take some profit here and then eventually move lower all the way down to test this trend line. That's what I would like to see. All right, so that's NVIDIA. Still a short for me. Looks like crap. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla dumped. You can see the distribution, right? So you had how long was the accumulation? You had an accumulation down here, right? So accumulation was about 21 days. And then how long was our distribution? Well, if we go from the top out point, it was exactly 20 days. So accumulation 20 days, distribution 20 days, and now we dump. We may fill this gap before we dump much more, but you can see, look at this daily chart. Obvious crossover, and then where is my short point? Right on this spike after the breakdown. So the spike after the breakdown is right here. This is where you would short, right up here. When it came up here, this was your short. You could have shorted here, you could have shorted here. Either way, you're in very nice profits now. Okay, so we're at about 30 minutes. I think hopefully I gave you guys some good value. We talked about a couple shorts. I mean, if Tesla if Tesla pops back up, kind of and fills this gap, I would consider it a nice entry for another short. So if you miss the short, you can hunt them on this potential gap fill. So something to just keep in mind with Tesla. But again, also keep in mind to pay attention to the indexes, S&P, QQQs. What are they doing? Because they're going to drive the eventual Tesla price action. And that applies to NVIDIA and kind of all of the general stocks. Silvergate. Let me take a look quickly. Yeah, let's do it in the after party. We'll go through all the requests and the individual names in the after party. Thank you, everybody in the public, for tuning in. If you're not a member of TRI, definitely jump over there. Membership's pretty cheap to get access to the daily briefs and after parties. The library is really valuable, and we're moving to Discord in the next 1 to 2 weeks. We're basically done. It looks amazing, by the way. Anybody on Rocket Chat is going to be super impressed by Discord. Like, I mean, not only will you get a mainstream app on your phone instead of the weird Rocket Chat one, but the way we've set up the flow for Discord is a complete redo compared to where we're at on Rocket Chat. Myself and Josh and Sioran have spent a lot of time trying to refine it to make it as easy as possible for new people to join, and also for existing members to get maximum value while spending as little time as possible, which I think is important because I see time as extremely valuable. Okay, so speaking of time, we're going to end the stream, and I'll catch you guys in the after party. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, bye, guys.